Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking time today to be with us on It's Time for Sunday School. Is it time for Sunday School where you are? I trust it is. You know, today I want to talk to you about exercising. Now, I know that exercising is not something we want to hear. And I'm not talking about bodily exercising. I'm talking about spiritual exercising. But the relationships between the two are kind of unique. You see, a lot of people may not know, or some may know, that I exercise a lot. In my younger days, it was nothing to run 10 miles. And I remember the first time that I had kind of slowed down in my exercising. I was running back from a place, and my dad turned around and met me, and he just stared at me. Now, I'm probably 45 at the time. And I said, "What are you staring at?" And he said, "That's the first time I've ever heard you breathing hard." See, I had quit exercising. The Apostle Paul in Timothy's Gospel, writing to Timothy, made a comment. And he said to him in chapter 4 of 1 Timothy, let me put my glasses on, verse 5, "For it is sanctified by the word of God and prayer. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Jesus Christ, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained. But refuse profane and old fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness." Here we go. "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that is now is, and that to which it is to come." You know, it's kind of unique that it didn't say that bodily exercises wasn't any good, did it? It just said that it wasn't really profitable. So let's look at the correlation here. Steve, how do I know if I need to exercise more? Well, first of all, we all need to exercise more, right? Doctors say what? Eat right, exercise. But the older we get, they don't tell you to get out and run 10 miles, do they? Because we couldn't do it. Now, I do know some guys over 70 years of age that can still run 10 miles. Why? Because they've never stopped. I remember the first time I got in a pair of pants, and I looked at those pants, and as I got into them, I thought it was interesting. I thought, well, April's made a mistake, and she's put her pants in my side of the closet, only to realize that they were my pants. You know, that's an awakening call, isn't it? You ever done it? Are you like me, that you have a closet full of clothes that you say, one day I'm going to be able to get back into those clothes? And that day doesn't happen, does it? Oh, we still look pretty good. We still feel pretty good. But when we look at ourselves, can we say, do we really exercise the mind of Christ? So let's look at, what does it take? Well, in my younger days when I competed on a national level, I had to train. And a lot of times I would win events because I was in a better shape. All the other guy might have been more talented than I was, but when it started, you could feel that turn and that momentum change because they were fatigued and I wasn't. And when I saw that they were fatigued and I wasn't, I even made it harder on them, run them around a little bit more. You see, when Satan sees that you are fatigued, he makes you run around more. We become distracted with things that are not things we need to be distracted about. But because we're not spiritually on top of our game, we start getting fatter of the world things. So what do you have to do? Well, when I trained, I had to train almost every day. Now, I remember the great Hall of Famer, Julius Erving, and they said, "How often do you have to train?" He says, "Every day. For that, if I miss 3 days of training, what happens?" He says, "I lose conditioning." I kind of like that same idea in our spiritual walk. If we miss 3 days of reading the Bible, 3 days of communicating with God, if we miss 3 days, the pastor, I took his place for 25 years, and we were dear friends. He said, if you miss 3 Sundays in a row, you're going to hell. Now, he meant it as a joke. He did. But the rest of us kind of laugh because, it's weird. He's been gone now for 2-3 years, and we still look back and say, well, their spiritual walk is not as strong as it needs to be. Why? Because they're not spending any time with God. They've missed 4 Sundays. They missed 5 Sundays. See, we get out of a habit and suddenly that piece of cake looks great. Steve, can I just have one more piece of cake? Mine's ice cream. I love ice cream. Can I just have that peach cobbler a la mode? Or, you know what I'm saying? When your spiritual walk, say, well, I watched something on TV that it's okay. I'm strong enough to handle it. Can you get back into your clothes? Do you have the ability to run 10 miles again? Do you have the ability to even pick up some weight again? Or is your back sore because you hadn't moved around too much? Paul didn't say that exercising was wrong. He said, bodily exercising profiteth little, but spiritual exercise. You understand what I'm saying? In these days that we are in today, what we perceive as the last days by people a lot more knowledgeable than I am, should we not listen to them, stay in time with God? If you haven't done it in a while, don't suddenly try to do it all of a sudden, boom, one time. Do what the doctors say. Start off slowly. Read 5 minutes a day. Spend 5 minutes a day talking to God, worshiping Him, not begging for things. Help me, help me, help me every time you talk to Him. And then listen to His voice. You may be surprised. If you take as much time listening to Him as you do talking to Him, you may get stronger pretty quick. Hey, that's the Sunday school class for today. I know some of you are getting ready, and I trust that we'll see you next week. You may take time to tell people about it, share it a little bit, whatever you want to do. Hope that you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye-bye now.